That's me. You're probably wondering how I got into this mess. Well, sit back, relax, and enjoy this delightful review of Knott Soak City. What's up? It's Kev Cage, good seeing ya. As I record this, it's the dog days of summer, and I was looking for something cheap to do with the family. I figured it was high time to finally check out Soak City. I had never been there before, but it's included with my gold pass to Knott's Berry Farm, so it seemed like the perfect opportunity to finally go check it out. I went to the Knott subreddit to ask people if they had any tips for a first timer, and this is what I got. Thankfully, I did not need to squabble up, and actually had a pretty good time. As we approached security, there were a lot of people walking in with their own beach chairs and umbrellas, which I thought was kind of unusual for a water park, but turns out there's a pretty good reason for that, which we'll get to later. I wasn't sure what the theming of Soak City was going to be like. Again, it's related to Knott's Berry Farm, and that's berry themed. As it turns out, Soak City doesn't really have a theme at all. When you walk in, you have this nice fountain with this surfer guy, who I thought was supposed to be somebody specific, turns out just generic surfer. And while there are palm trees around that sort of do a little bit of place setting to feel like you're in some tropical wonderland, there's also a Walgreens, very visible, from many angles. You can talk about eye lines all you want, but man, Walgreens. Some things are sort of named like other things that are nautical. Davy Jones lockers. I mean, that's cute, I guess. The place is also in a little bit of disrepair, and we'll see more instances of that later. They have a lighthouse that's beach themed. Sort of. They have this shipwreck for no reason. Sort of like Typhoon Lagoon. But nothing else really has that shipwreck theme, so that's just kind of like upsetting, I guess. Anyway, Soak City has all these grassy areas. This is where you can pop up your own beach chair or umbrella. If you've ever been to any other water park on the planet, you know how those chaise lounges become such prime real estate. To avoid that altogether, I guess you could just bring your own chair. You'll always remember where your stuff is, for the most part. Bring an umbrella that's a different color from everybody else, I don't know. They also have cabanas. I can't tell you whether or not these are worth it because I didn't even bother to check out the price, assuming that they weren't, but there's your cabanas. Alright, let's talk about the rides. First, all the way in the back of the park, they had two sets of slides, Old Man Falls and Malibu Run. I did appreciate that these had their own cutout logos, but nothing is really cohesively tied together. I do love these old-timey wait signs that, again, are in sort of disrepair, and I highly doubt anybody is going down there to update them. Here's a thing I mentioned in other videos, namely the DreamWorks water park thing. You could check out the link. I don't know, I'm probably not going to link it, but you could find it if you're burning with passion to find out about it. With signs like this, it's nigh impossible to know what the actual ride is going to be like. So if you've got little ones who may or may not be suited depending on how rough it is, you'll never know until it's too late. DreamWorks had a thing that actually told you how steep the drops were, or that there were steep drops. I don't remember exactly, but it definitely had more detail and saved you the walk of shame from heading down. Or the worst shame of having your child fall out of a raft, which I must mention again has happened to me. This is what the slides look like. That's Old Man Falls. There's two of them, maybe three. I didn't go on them. Those don't require a raft. They're the ones you just kind of like get in and go down. Pretty fun. And then these are tube rides, I think. But like individual, like inner tube. Yeah, you can see that person just floated down there on that. This is what the other slides look like. We'll just wait a moment for these people to come down. I mean, you get the idea. I guess I don't have to show somebody actually sliding, but... Alright, there they go. Whee! There's two kid areas. One is like a tiny splash pad, which I don't have any footage of because my kids are a little too old for that, and I didn't want to be super weird. This is the one that's more or less in their age range. If you've been to one of these places, you've been to all of them. They have some smaller slides, the bucket that drops water over everybody, that's a classic, who doesn't love that? And all kinds of stuff where you could either shoot people with water or have water dumped on you. This whole contraption looked its age for sure and could certainly use a little bit of loving up. Would it kill him to make any of this berry themed? I don't know, just spitballing here. This is Tidal Wave Bay. It's the wave pool with the Walgreens in the background. If you've been in a wave pool before, this is just like that. It's decently sized, I guess. They have a rule apparently in California where anybody under 52 inches has to wear a life vest. So that's good for safety, but might annoy your kids. Then we have Sunset River, which was actually a pretty sweet lazy river as far as lazy rivers go. It was certainly long and took a nice bit of a while to get around to do a full loop of it. Fighting other people for tubes that are available can get a little dicey, but we didn't really have to wait that long. I think it was 2 minutes of making sad faces at people and we finally got lucky. I will also say that I got one of those phone pouches that you can put your phone in and it's like waterproof. I say this like it's a new thing. They've been around for 40 years. But I never got one because I always thought it made you look like a dork. Now I don't care anymore. It's actually super convenient. You could slide a credit card in there too, and you don't have to worry about somebody stealing your wallet. What a fascinating piece of technology. You heard it here first, folks. The only thing that I think this lazy river was missing is more stuff that's spraying you. They had that one little bucket, but other than that, you're mostly dry. Here's some more slides. These were also raft slides, in case you couldn't tell. A raft will come down eventually. And that's kind of another little nitpick that I have with Soak City. It very much feels like its sister park, Knott's Berry Farm, in how it takes absolute ages in between people coming down or going off on rides. I understand it's a water park and they want to make sure everybody's being safe, but from the point where tubes go out of the bottom, where people leave the pool area when they have an all clear, it takes an eternity for the next group of people to come down. So on a day that wasn't incredibly busy, the lines for all of these slides felt way longer than they needed to be. Here's more slides, and the tubes you use for them. I didn't go on these either. Alright, then you get Bonsai Falls. This is that sweet thing where you get like the foam mat that has handles on it and you go head first down the slide. It's a crowd pleaser. Everybody loves this. As far as this one goes, it's not very different from any other one on the planet, except for the fact that it takes forever to go down if you're the next person up. I might speed this footage up. This path has been clear for ages. The people who have just gone have been out of the way for at least 2 minutes, and you're just waiting and waiting. I'm watching this in real time and I cannot believe, even though I was there, that they still have not gone down yet. And there they go. Hooray! More rides. This one's called The Wedge. Logic would dictate that that's a regular slide with no raft because it's a, trunks up your butt reference, but no, this one's a raft ride, I think. I didn't go on it either. Curiously, here is the emergency stop button that is, as far as I can tell, unmanned. Is that a safety issue? Time to get down to brass tacks. Knott Soak City has a ton of alcohol, including here at Calabunga's Beach Bar. Alright, I guess that counts as theming, but still. Here you can get a strawberry basil lemonade and whatever the rest of that says. They've got beers on tap and frozen drinks in the background there that you can see. I was told this is the only location that had them, but that was a lie. You got some beers there, including a Clown Shoes beer that was last made a year ago. I still ordered it. Here you have more tap handles, including a custom IPA named to a ride. If you know me, you know that is a huge win in my book. So I got it. It was great. You got this van beer cart and then the shipwreck bar. There's one of these kiosks pretty much every 10 feet. They're like garbage cans at Disneyland, except you can get margaritas. They also have plenty of these Coca-Cola refresh stations with the souvenir cups. It's pretty standard. I never partake in this, but wait, what? What's that? Knott's Berry Punch? Maybe I've been sleeping on the refillable cup. As far as food goes, there's a bunch of places to eat. From what I've heard, all of it is pretty unremarkable, and we didn't eat at any of them. There's the Longboard's Grill. If I had to guess, they have burgers and fries. They also have this nice seating area that's tarped over that provides a nice respite from the sun, should you need one. Not a ton of shade here otherwise. I like that they have a sign that says seating is reserved for dining patrons only for 30 minutes because, yeah, it's a great place to sit. The aforementioned Calabungas also has some flatbreads and things like that. The lighthouse, which we kind of saw earlier, has some ice cream, I guess. A chunky strawberry bar, and your standard pretzel. We did get a pretzel. That was actually pretty good. Nice and soft. You think that a pretzel is something you can't mess up, but you'd be surprised. And then you have Portside Pizza, which has pizza also. I did peek into the window, and it seems that they have frozen margaritas. So, lady at Calabunga's who said you were the only place that had them, you lied to me. And then finally, you got the gift shop. I love a gift shop. I have so many towels from water parks that I use as regular towels. That's a life hack for you. Use a water park towel for your actual shower towel every day. It adds to your joy by about 30%. But this gift shop was kind of disappointing. Most of the merchandise there was just generic, like, surf stuff. It was nice to have some sunscreen tips from Panama Jack before heading in. But even look at this entrance. That Soak City sign, boy, that's seen better days. But it weirdly has just this one way in and out, this narrow path that goes through a metal detector. Here are exclusive towels that you could get 2 for $39.99, which, listen, that's a steal when it comes to water parks, but they're not anything that says Knott's Water, what is this place? Soak City on them? They're just like generic beach towels. The only Knott Soak City stuff that I saw that was branded was all on the clearance rack. And then there were these tank tops over here. One with a lady's cut and one with a fella's cut. Kinda disappointing. Not even a magnet. I got the Soak City tank because of course I did. I'll probably wear it proudly. And it was half off. It cost $13. The merch was severely lacking. I will say I don't think I've ever seen anybody else on the planet walking around with Soak City merchandise, so I'm willing to admit that that's just a me problem. So there you have it. That's Soak City. I feel like this place gets a really bad rap. From the little that I heard about it before going in, it all seemed very negative and that it was very bootleg and that I wasn't going to like it. But honestly, for a water park that's slightly more if you add on to your Knott's Berry Farm season pass, and I guess even if you go for the day, though I didn't check to see how much a day ticket was, there are a lot worse places you can go. You can't beat the value. There's plenty of slides, a lazy river, and a wave pool for those who don't feel like going on slides, stuff to eat, and tons to drink. That's great, right? What else do you want? Anyway, thanks for watching my review, I guess, of Knott's Soak City. It was a delight, and I can't wait to go again. I guess I didn't really think about how to end this video. I will say that weirdly, of all the videos that I've made, and I'm up to about 50 right now, for some reason, the water park reviews are in my, like, top 5. The stuff that I spend hours and hours and hours on trying to make a point about, like, King Ka or Disney or whatever, nobody's watching. So, there's that. All right, bye.